Hi there. I'm going to talk with you today about verbs. Now, this is a lesson we were going to do in class last week, but because we were taking the assessment or because we had an important lesson, I did not want to take the time in class to go over this, but this is a way you can still get this information, and I encourage you to look through the slides and practice some of the pages that are in here. Okay, so we're going to talk about verbs. Before we talk about the verbs that you have in your packet, I just want to go over some of the types of verbs that we have. So we have three main types of verbs. We have action verbs, linking verbs, and helping verbs. Action verbs are verbs that have action. So there's some tell what someone is doing, what they're performing. So right now I'm talking. So talk is an action verb. Right now you're listening. Listen is an action verb. It's something that you do. If you eat some food, eat is an action verb. If you take a walk later, it's a nice day outside. If you walk, walk is an action verb. So action verbs are something that you perform, something that you do. A linking verb is a little bit different. You don't actually do it. What a linking verb does is it connects a noun or a pronoun with a word that identifies it or describes it. So if I say, my students are happy, so are is a linking verb, and it's telling me how the students feel. So a linking verb is not something that you perform or you do. It's something that's more of an internal thing. It's a feeling. So our main linking verb is the verb to be. So let me pull up a document, and we have the verb to be. Okay, so the verb to be is conjugated a little bit differently, and I encourage you to memorize this because it's something that's important in grammar and something that you'll use often. So when we conjugate it, I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, you are, they are. So this is how it is conjugated when you use it with a subject. Okay. We also use been as a conjugation, is a way we can conjugate the verb be. So like if you say like, I have been busy. So been is the verb to be. It's really confusing. We also have the verb was. That's part of the verb to be. I was hungry. Okay, so am, is, are, was, were, being. Those are all parts of the word to be, and they are all linking verbs. So, like if you look at this sentence right here, I was hungry. It's connecting the subject I to what I am feeling. It's describing me. So then we have helping verbs. Helping verbs are added before another verb, and it makes it a verb phrase. So in the one that I just showed you, let's see, I have been busy. Have is a helping verb. It's connecting been. So it's giving you a timing of something. And so helping verbs are often used in different verb tenses, which we can discuss another time. But this is an example of a perfect tense verb. So it's basically saying that I've been busy. We don't know how long I've been busy. this is what we call a present perfect tense. So it's just saying that I've been busy for some point in time. It started sometime right before now and it's continuing into the present time. So, but that's another lesson for another time. But I just want you to be familiar with the verb to be as a is a linking verb. And I can't spell. Am, is, are, was, were, be, been. So these are different ways that we say the verb to be. So a helping verb. Helping verbs help out other verbs. So if we say, if I have a sentence like, I should get a shower. It's almost noon and I have not had a shower yet. True story. After I do this lesson, I will be getting a shower. So should is a helping verb. Get is our main verb, and that's an action verb. So should is what we call a modal verb, and a modal verb is a type of a helping verb. So should get goes together, and this is a verb phrase. Should says it's something, it's a possibility. I should get a shower, but maybe I'll stay in my pajamas all day. Maybe I won't get a shower. So it's kind of letting me know that it's a possibility. This is not a truth. I can sing very well. So sing is my action verb. Can is a helping verb. It's telling me that I have the ability to sing very well. And I should put, I'm going to add to this a little bit, in my dreams. Because in reality, I cannot sing very well. So I could even say, I can not sing well in person. Okay, so here it's the same set. I'm just using this as a negative, but can is my helping verb and sing is my action verb. Okay, so even when we use have, I have gone to Mexico 4 times. Okay, so gone is my action verb. It's the past tense of go, or I'm not the past tense, it's called the past participle of go. Okay, have is helping that. This is another example of a perfect tense verb. It's saying that at some point in my life, I went to Mexico. And so have is helping out gone, and it's creating a verb phrase. So those are the 3 types of verbs that we have. So now that you have a little understanding, or hopefully you have a little understanding of the 3 main types of verbs, let's talk about the slides that are in your binder. When we have verbs, we have to use them in specific ways. Okay, every sentence will have a subject and a verb. The subject is the who or what in the sentence. The verb tells what the subject is doing. In English language, we have 12 verb tenses. That's a lot. So, but when I say 12 verb tenses, we have several different types of verb tenses, classifications of verbs, but then we have each verb tense has 3 tenses. I know I'm not saying this very well, but in each type of verb tense, like if we have simple tense or progressive tense or perfect tense, those are the major tenses. And within each of them, we have categories of tenses. We have present tense, past tense, and future tense. Okay, so as it says up here, a verb is a word that indicates action or state of being. Verbs are categorized as regular or irregular, depending on how they are formed in past tense. So I'm going to make it a little bigger, sorry. The tense of a verb tells when an action or state of being takes place. So in each of those major tenses, as I was talking about a minute ago, we have present tense, past tense, and future tense. So today we're going to focus on the simple tense verbs. We use present tense to express an action or a state of being that takes place right now. Present tense is also used to express repeated actions in facts or general statements. And I'll explain that a little bit more in just a moment. We use past tense to express an action or a state of being that took place in the past. We use future tense to express an action or a state of being that will take place in the future. So let me go back to my little Word document. So if I have a sentence, if I say, I work at Central 9 Adult Education. The verb in this sentence is work. It's an action verb because it's something that I perform, something that I do. This sentence is a simple present tense. The verb is in simple present tense. Simple present tense, that would mean right now, okay? Or it can be a repeating action. So when I say I work at Central 9 Adult Education, it means every day. So this is a repeated action. So it is simple present tense because I work at C9 every day. It is a repeated action. So that's why it is considered a simple present tense. So if I meet someone and they say, what do you do for a living? And I could say, I work at Central 9 Adult Education. I'm telling them what I do. I'm not specifying a time. So it's going to be in present tense, simple present tense, because it means I work there every day. Okay, or at least most of the days of the week. Past tense. Past tense expresses the action or state of being that took place in the past. So if I no longer work at Central 9, I would say, I'm not going to use Central 9. I'll use my job that I left 2 years ago. I worked at Westwood Elementary School for 12 years. So now my verb is worked. It's a regular verb, and with regular verbs, to make it past tense, I add ed. Okay, so this is simple past tense. This is an action I did in the past. We don't have to know the time. It could have been yesterday. It could have been 5 minutes ago. It could have been 10 years ago. It doesn't matter the time. This ed at the end of my verb tells me it's past tense. Future tense expresses an action or state of being that will take place in the future. So with our simple future tense, with future tense verbs, we use a helping verb. And in this case, will is the helping verb. So we put that together with the verb. So if I say, I will get a shower after I record this lesson. So my verb is get. Okay, it's something that I'm going to do. To show that it's future tense, I'm going to use the helping verb will. So will get is a verb phrase. So will indicates or shows the action will take place in the future. So this, I will get a shower. This could happen in 5 minutes. It could happen in 5 hours. It could happen in 5 days. I won't let it happen in 5 days, or I won't wait 5 days to get a shower. Otherwise, I won't smell very good. So this is just showing me that the action of this verb takes place in the future. So one of the confusing things with this tense, with the simple present tense, is we have to do something a little bit different when the subject is he, she, or it. So if I'm talking about any male, any female, anything, I'm going to show you this chart, and this is something that you really should memorize. I'm going to take this over and put it in a document. Okay, there we go. I like working in documents a little bit better than Word. All right, so I'm going to insert a little chart. Or I'm sorry, a table. Not a chart, but a table. I did not mean to add that. There we go. Okay, so when we're talking about first person, second person, third person, singular, plural, this is when we're talking about the subject. So this is the who or what in the sentence. So I'm going to use pronouns. So we have I, we. These are subject pronouns. You, and we will be talking about pronouns in our next language lesson. He, she, it, and the plural is they. So these are the subject pronouns. So if I'm writing a sentence and I say, Thomas lives in Chicago. Okay, so Thomas is my subject. If I want to replace Thomas with a subject pronoun, I would say he works at a hospital. So Thomas is third person singular. Okay, so I can say Thomas, I can say he. So this is a very important chart to learn, your subject pronouns, and also this, when I have person. Okay, and what this means is the first person is the person who is doing the speaking. So I am talking to a group of students who are, or a person who is listening to this recording. So I am the first person. The person doing the speaking is the first person. If someone were here with me talking, then it would be a we. Second person is the listener, so the audience. So if you are watching this video, you are second person. If you're watching it with someone, then it's plural, you. So you and the other person are watching this video or listening to this video and watching it. So first person is the speaker, the one doing the talking. Make that a little small. Second person is, we'll call that the listener. It's the audience. It's who the speaker is talking to. Third person is who we're talking about. Oh, that's really big. Let me make it small. Make a space there. Okay, so if I say my cat is looking at me, I'm talking about my cat. I'm talking about it. Okay, so first person is the speaker, whoever is doing the talking. Second person is the listener, whoever the speaker is talking to. Third person is another person or thing. It's who we are talking about. Okay, so the reason I'm telling you about this, and you're probably going like, lady, you are all over the place, which I apologize, is when we put a verb in. So I'm going to just use the verb work. So if I am kind of conjugating the verb work, I would do it like this. This is in simple present tense. This does not apply for everything. Okay, just simple present tense. Okay, so when I'm talking about first person, simple present tense, I work. We work. You work. You work. They work. Something is a little different with third person singular. Third person singular, I have to add an S. So he works, she works, it works. Okay, so we either add an S or an ES. So this is the verb work. So if I use another verb, let's say, let's use the verb. Sorry, I'm having a hard time thinking of a verb that ends with an E. Okay. Let's just say kiss. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. So the verb kiss. So if I am talking about kiss, like I kiss my son goodnight. We kiss our children before on the forehead before they go to bed. You kiss your dog. You kiss your cats. They kiss their parents. Good night. So kiss, it ends in an S already. So if you have a verb that ends in an S, then we're going to add an ES. He kisses, she kisses, it kisses. So third person singular, we're either going to add an S or an ES. And I will tell you those spelling words another time. Okay, so let's get back to the slideshow because this is turning out to be a very long video and you're probably like, get to the point, lady. So these are just some examples of how we use simple tense verbs. So when you look at this, it just shows you how you can put those verbs in, whether it's asking it in a question form, if it's a state, just a regular form, or if it's in past tense, or if it's, you have to add if you have to add a helping verb. I apologize, I cannot speak very well. Okay, so you can take a look at this, but I want to look at this slide right here. Okay, so because when we talk about verbs, we have action verbs and we have those linking verbs, or I'm sorry, scratch that, erase that part. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs, and that's what I really wanted to say. So in your binder, under the section, there's supplemental materials. You'll have a list of verbs. You'll have a list of regular verbs and a list of irregular verbs. So when we are talking about regular and irregular verbs, there are differences in them when it comes to past tense. Okay, so if it's a regular verb, all you do is add ed. Okay, so like walk is a regular verb. So if I'm trying to tell you it in past tense, I'm going to add ed. Ed is going to let me know that the timing of the action was in the past. Okay, if it's an irregular verb, you have to do something else. I want to just show you on this page right here, there are some spelling rules for regular verbs when you add ed. So for most verbs, if it ends in a consonant, you just add ed. And a consonant is any of those letters other than A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U are vowels. If you have a verb that ends with an E, you just add D. If you have a verb that ends with a consonant followed by a Y, the rule is you change that Y to an I and add ed. And then if you have a verb that ends in a consonant, or a vowel in a consonant, so consonant, vowel, consonant, like that LAN, the rule is we double that N. You may have some questions about that, and I can explain that a little bit better another day because we will run into that rule again in future lessons. But I want to talk about irregular verbs. Irregular verbs have different rules. So they have different past tense forms. So like the verb eat. So if I have, let me make another little chart, or table rather. So here, this is going to be present tense. This is going to be past tense. And these are all simple tense, simple. So if I have the verb eat, and eat is present tense, but if it's past tense, it will be ate. If I have the verb go, the past tense is went. If I have the verb teach, the past tense is taught. Okay. If I have the word buy, like I'm going to the store to buy a t-shirt, I bought a t-shirt. Okay, so there are differences in past tense. So you have to memorize. You have to memorize the irregular tense verbs. That's the only way you can do it. I'll put one more in. So go, went. Oh, I did that one already. Oh my goodness. Do, did. Okay, so with irregular verbs, you have to memorize them. There's no other way to do it except for memorize. If I have regular verbs, let me get rid of these ones. Like walk, for regular verbs, I just add ed. Okay. Okay, so these are some examples of regular verbs. So if it's a regular verb, all we do is add ed to the end. Or like dance ends with an E, so I'm just going to put a D. Okay. So regular verbs are much easier when you're putting them in a past tense form. Irregular, you have to memorize them. And so there is, in your binder, there is a list of around 100 irregular verbs. I think I can find that here to show you. Okay, so this is what your verb list will look like. There is a list of regular verbs in your binder as well, but this is the irregular verbs. Okay, it's one page front and back. So you just have to memorize them. There are a lot of them. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but start memorizing them. And what I suggest to memorize them is write them down. I'd say 5 at a time and post them somewhere that you can see them all the time. I actually suggest a bathroom mirror. Put them on a post-it note. Put the post-it note on your bathroom mirror. If you think about how many times you are in the bathroom for showering, brushing your teeth, washing your hands, etc., then every time you're in there, you'll look at that list and memorize them. Or put them in your kitchen. You know, if you're in, how many times you go in the kitchen. So same thing. You could put them on your refrigerator or on a cabinet door. But memorize them. So like what I do to memorize is just repeat them. And so on this verb list, you have the verb, so the original form, then you have the past tense, and then you have this one called the past participle. You use the past participle with different verb tenses. So I'm not going to talk about those verb tenses today, but in another lesson you'll be learning about those, and so it's good to just go ahead and start memorizing them. For regular verbs, the past participle is the exact same as the simple past tense. For irregulars, it's different. So if I were trying to memorize them, I would like say forgive, forgave, forgiven, freeze, froze, frozen, get, got, give, gave, given, go, went, gone, and do like 5 of them at a time until you get them memorized, and then do 5 more. So you just have to commit them to your memory, and that's the only way. There's nothing that can help you to understand. There's no formula for irregular verbs. You just have to memorize. So this is in your binder. Let me go back to this slideshow. I do apologize. I feel like I did not do a great job on this lesson speaking this morning. I don't know what's wrong with my brain these days. I just don't really feel like I can think straight. But there are some ways you can practice. So here's some practicing. These come from a book that I use in transitions. So some of you might be familiar with it. Some of you might not if you're in ESL class. But this will prepare you for when you're in transitions or HSE class. So the sentence, we'll do this first one here, and then I'll do another one. Which sentence uses the correct verb tense? Brian was sick yesterday. He was better now. Sue is sick yesterday too. Sue was better tomorrow. So this one is the correct one. Was is our verb. It is past tense. It's the past tense of the verb to be. Okay, so it's a linking verb. And yesterday tells us it was in the past, so we have to make sure the verb is in the past tense. Let's look down here. We'll do one down here. My mother blanked school for 25 years. Okay, so this one, you're going to find the one that is best for the sentence. So this one is telling us that something happened in the past. Okay, and so we have to use the past tense of the verb to teach. Teach is an irregular verb, and taught is the correct answer. So I would suggest looking through the slideshow. And once again, I apologize. I feel like I'm not doing a great job talking today. This is what I get for trying to do this on a Saturday. My brain's saying, it's your day off. Take the day off. But I wanted to get this done for you guys. So I apologize for my rambling. And if some of it doesn't make sense, I really hope it does make sense. But if you have any questions, then just tell me when we're in class, and I'll be happy to take some time to explain it. Verbs are really important. They're one of the parts of speech. Every single sentence in English language has a verb in it, at least one verb. So it is important to become familiar with verbs and verb tenses. All right, I hope that you have a great day, and I will talk with you soon.